Fellow Ron Paul supporters, I'm Hans Lusglimt. Let's look at our situation for the Ron Paul movement and for Ron Paul and his chances of becoming the next president of the United States of America. And let's not fool ourselves. Our chances are slim, but they're there. We have a chance, and that's what we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on making the most out of that slim chance. And I'm a great believer in the markets, and the markets are not predicting very high chances for us to get even Ron Paul nominated as the Republican candidate, and even less to become the next president. But there's a number of things that can happen during this year 2008 that I'd like to focus on. And the first thing, of course, is that even though Ron Paul may not be the candidate for the Republican Party, be chosen as such, he can still run independently, and he can run as the Libertarian candidate. And I hope and I think that even though he says he's not going to, I hope for the movement's sake that he will actually run as the Libertarian candidate, if nothing else just to stand the race all the way, because the message needs to get out there. And if he runs as the Libertarian candidate, you know, school children and the media, and there's going to be coverage all the way through. And I think the rest of us deserve that. He should do that. We're going to get a few delegates on Super Duper Tuesday from around the different states. You know, it's not going to be a landslide anywhere, but we'll get some in some places. So at the convention in September, we'll have people there. We'll definitely be represented. And winning is really not about winning the game and the cards as they're laid out now. If we're going to win in September, we really have to either have the deck reshuffled or reshuffle the deck ourselves to make some drastic things happen for Ron Paul to be the alternative that people will turn to. And I want you to remember that up until that moment, Ron Paul can be elected. You know, if he's the most viable candidate in September, if he has the answers, he can be elected. And what I see happening is a financial meltdown. I believe we're on the verge right now of a financial meltdown from fiat money and money creation by the Federal Reserve and the US government and the rest of the governments in the world. And I see the stock market plunging right before my eyes. Asia is down today, Monday. Europe is down. The US is going to go down when it opens. Then the Federal Reserve is going to make another pathetic attempt at rescuing the economy by lowering the interest rates sooner or later at the cost of our future generations. And it's the beginning of the unraveling of the whole thing. And the economy has been pumped up by this easy credit and easy money, and it will implode very fast. It might happen as we speak, in a very short time frame. The whole thing might implode on itself. And I am personally absolutely fascinated that I've been waiting for this for 20 years. Both a political change and a candidate like Ron Paul to rise up, and for a correction in the financial markets. I've been waiting for this for 20 years, and these are two independent things, really, and they're all happening at the same time. So I'm absolutely stunned and fascinated, amazed that I should live to see this, that this should happen in the year 2008, when I'm in the middle of my career and still young enough to be able to shape whatever comes after. Amazing. And I believe that if this financial meltdown gets escalating now, very soon, people will start asking questions. What's happening? Why my house worth half? What happened to my savings, my early retirement? People will be willing to listen to arguments. So our message can come out, has a unique way of coming out. And the others don't have any answers to that. They will not know what to say or do. They have no track record of identifying the problem or identifying any kind of solution. So we in the movement, we have to keep fighting for this all the way, to the election, all the way, partly to get the message out, but partly also because there is a fighting chance all the way. And even after the next president of the United States has been elected in November, and if it's not Ron Paul, even then the movement must continue, and it will continue, but it will be much fewer people and the dedicated core of people that will carry this movement forward. I've been in this movement for 15, 20 years already, and people come and go, of course, and hardcore stay on and keep the fight going. I'm going to be there. Be sure about that. I'm going to be there 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, regardless. But after the election, provided Ron Paul is not the next president, there's going to be a new movement, a long-term movement that will think differently towards the long term. And the long term is about a grassroots movement all over America. In all the precincts, we need people to grow this thing from bottom up. Now we're attacking it top down. Get Ron Paul as president and change everything top down. If that doesn't work, and we'll know that 2008, I hope it does, touch wood. But if it doesn't, we have to do this bottom up. And we've been working on that for a long time, and we'll continue. We'll win this eventually. But back to the point of what might happen in 2008 is that I believe we're on the verge of a financial meltdown. And I have advised on my videos people how to deal with that and to get out of shares and buy some gold. But I also see it as a tremendous opportunity for the Ron Paul movement. If it happens now, before September, people will be willing to listen in a totally different way. And we have to present Ron Paul and the message as the solution. It's not the man. It's his message. The flesh counts for nothing. It's the message of Ron Paul, not necessarily the man. And people will listen this time. If the financial meltdown is happening right before their eyes, they will listen. And Ben Bernanke and the entire power establishment, they're shaking because the walls are trembling. And Ben Bernanke lowers the interest rates and pumps up money to postpone this as much as possible. And they have, it's not a conspiracy in the sense that they're talking to each other and meeting in secret rooms and all that, but it's a conspiracy in the sense that it is a setup that some people are part of and some people don't want any part of. And the conspiracy, in that sense, wants things to meddle on for indefinitely, but at least through this election. Because if they can get their power people in to hold the power again, they'll be in for another generation or two. So that's why Ben Bernanke is going to keep lowering the interest rate. But I think that the market is going to catch up. And when it does, when the market plunges, that's where we have to present Ron Paul as the only solution. And that can happen in September. So there's definitely a chance there. We got to keep on fighting. Keep on fighting for Ron Paul. Get out there. Do whatever you can and get the message across. Go Ron Paul. Ron Paul for president, 2008.